You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the February 27th meeting of the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board of Managers. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, we're going to call to order the February 27th, 2024 meeting of the Board of Managers for the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Can we have a roll call, please, Amy?
Betsy Greenlaw.
Here.
Pat Harris.
Here.
Corinne Myers. Here. Stacy Benning.
Here.
Diane Gonzalez.
Here.
Martha King.
Here.
Adam Konechny.
Here.
Mike Sykes. Don Babcock.
Okay, we do have a quorum, so we will proceed with our meeting. Are there any comments from the public at this time? We will now ask for a motion to approve our minutes from our January 2024 meeting. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Stacy Benning and a second by Martha King. Any discussion, corrections? Hearing none, those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. For my report this morning, I'm going to begin with just talking to you a little bit about something Jack and I have been discussing for the last couple years, and that's having an advisory board or an advisory committee to assist this board with community involvement activities and things that have an impact on the community that we're involved in, large scale things mainly, but there's some way to do that. So we have created, I'm going to create, as of today, a 3-person advisory board. Right now, I'm thinking maybe we may even increase it to 5 because of the vastness of LaPorte County and covering the entire community. So, and we're having that board reflect the entire community. So we may end up with 5, but right now we're starting with 3. And I would like to announce that Angela Gagan, who is the sales director for Blue Chip Casino, she's going to chair the committee. Thank you, Angie, for agreeing to do that. And then we have 2 prior board members that agreed to get us started off also, Doug Waters and Laura Krenz. So we're going to have a good start to this committee, and the people that join that committee are going to be able to really help us out with some of our community involvement. We're looking at it as a tourism bureau to do more in that area. We have a lot of visitors coming in, so we want to really get the community geared up for our visitors when they do come in.
Does that have to be reaffirmed by the board or not?
Well, no, it's just a committee, and it's going to be on an as-needed basis. So there may be a time when we have to put them into a lot of action, and they may be really involved. There may be other times where they're just kind of on standby. Okay, so we don't have to do that.
Okay.
So with that, we'll move right into our treasurer's report. Becky?
Okay. So for January of 2024, we have total accounts payable of $60,901.11 with a total payroll of $43,139.95 for a grand total of $104,041.06. And I have the January statement of financial position, profit and loss, the budget performance, and the January bank account reconciliations and claim sheets for your review.
Thank you. Hearing the report and seeing it in your emails, do we have a motion to approve our financials as presented?
I motion to approve.
We have a motion by Corinne Myers, a second.
Second.
By Martha King. Any further discussion, questions, comments on our financials? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have Linda's out today, so we have a report coming in from Jack. He's going to cover like 3 different areas today, so let's see how he does.
I'm gonna earn my pay today,
We'll
guys.
let him know if he needs to just stay in his lane or what, so.
That's you gotta do that with me. So, actually, Gail's on vacation and Linda's out, so we're tag teaming a little bit. And I'm going to
go through, in my report, some updates that Linda would have given, and Amy, of course, and then we'll move into the other reports as we get down to that order, starting with probably the, we'll end up with the blue chip report after mine. So, having said that, a couple things. Who's got the community report? Dale? I want to share with you, this is hot off the press, they just printed it. As you know, most organizations do an annual report to show everybody what they've done in the previous year. We changed our title to community report, we thought it sounded a little better. So here's a synopsis of what we did last year, and I'm so proud of this. This is Linda's baby. She literally had Dale go over the weekend and pick these up off the press because they're not really done yet. She wanted to get enough for you guys today. So, please take this with you and look at it. But as you can see, it's a well-done document. It gives some great numbers. I can tell you last year when we met with our friends from Lake County and we shared this with them, they were so taken back with this report that they've actually started copying and doing the same thing over there. It's very well done, and it gives you just a snapshot of everything that we do, whether it's youth sports, the race, innkeeper's tax. It touches a little bit of everything. So please enjoy that, and if you've got any input for next year, we'll be glad to take that, and we'll be out in the community putting these out the rest of the year as we move into the year. So, and again, that's Linda's baby. She pulls that together, and what a great job she did with that. Amy, you got copies of the innkeeper's tax graph, maybe, by chance? And the gaming tax?
Sure do. So you got some back.
I'm good, yes, thank you. So, as she finished passing them out, as we've told you all along, we felt like we were going to surpass 22, and we did. Yay, we did it, okay, and again, one accomplishment, that's 10 years in a row, guys, that we've been able to increase the innkeeper's tax that we brought in. The gaming tax, of course, is much more out of our control. That's all completely legislated. It's not even turnstile anymore. It's based on a formula that takes in the corporate gaming profits, I believe, of Boyd Gaming. Something like that, AIM, isn't it, the new one, or Angie, I mean, it's the new innkeeper gaming tax is based on corporate gaming profits versus the turnstile.
Correct.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, we certainly work hard at trying to get patrons in there and winning money, like everybody does there, right? They win money before they come out, but some of that is out of our control. But usually it goes hand in hand. If they're staying and paying innkeeper's tax, they're usually out gambling too, so that works really well. So just wanted to share that with you. We're so proud of Amy and the Head and Beds Committee. Some of the staff are here that are on that committee. What a great job. And then I've said this over and over, and I apologize again, but I'm saying it. We did this with, we actually lost beds during this time. We didn't gain beds, we lost beds. We got a couple properties that are for sale and struggling a little bit. That always happens in the industry. And they've not really been very productive during this last year. So we've been able to maintain still through that. So that's really good. And by the way, we are working with those properties hand in hand. But when you get into areas where they're trying to sell and things like that, somewhat out of our control. But we're staying on top of those situations too. Any questions at all about the gaming
I just
side?
wanted clarification on the gaming side. And I'm thinking maybe it had to do with the rooms. I remember we had a change in taxing comp versus non-comp. We had a issue with that back where we had, is that reflected in these?
That's, long gone. That would have happened, Pat, let's see, let me look at the.
In 20.
I'm gonna say we actually litigated that and lost it probably at the end of 15, going into 16.
That's why I was.
Yeah, you see the down trend there? Yeah, that was a period back that you're right, that did happen. We were we were challenging the right to collect the innkeepers, or the innkeepers tax, the gaming on comp rooms at Blue Chip. So anyway, any other questions on either one of those two? Anything at all? I mean, we've kept you updated pretty much the whole year, so it's not a big surprise, but again, we're just, so proud of it, and we want to make sure that that the credit goes to the staff for doing such a great job.
You can certainly see the COVID dip there in 2020, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and it would have been a lot worse if it wouldn't have been, see, the big jump after that is when the legislation changed and they started automatically taxing third-party rentals.
Right.
That was the year that changed, and you could see that, boom, where that really took off. Let me see, next on the agenda, I got in this community, we're going to keep protect. Yeah, I got him on, thank you for that. A couple of weeks ago, we called a meeting to bring in offshore racing leaders from around the United States to Michigan City. We've had some politics going on in the racing world, really not too relevant to us, but it was getting to the point where we were concerned that it might affect our boat count, our race team count. Without going into a lot of detail, there's a governing body called APBA that gives sanctioning points to race sites. And because they were at odds with promoters, specifically the promoter we use, OPA, they literally blocked Michigan City out of getting points for our race, which could have or would have impacted at a minimum, the Class 1 boats, which are the ones from around the world, the big boats. And there's a reason why, but then just suffice to say that would have impacted them. So we pulled together a group of race team leaders from around the country, a group of host sites like Cocoa Beach, Fort Myers, Sarasota, Michigan City, all the sites. We had about 40 people. We had about 20 people attended the live portion of the meeting. We held at Blue Chip. And then we had another 20 or so that zoomed in. And it couldn't have worked out better. It really worked out great. I think we sent a strong message in the industry that we kind of formed our own loosely knit union, if you will. The race drivers and the host sites, we said, look, you can't have this without the race teams, and you can't have it without the host sites, but we can have it without APBA. We don't need your points. And the general public, if you ask them, APBA, they're going to look at you like, they don't care. They don't know anything about point. And so we really drilled that down and sent a message. And the result was, before we left that meeting at Blue Chip, almost all of what they used to call the Class 1 boats have now shifted into what we're going to call an extreme class, and they're all coming. We've got them all coming. I think all but one had signed up the other day, and I think we'll have their New Zealand and their time is off, and I think we just have trouble communicating with them and getting them signed in. So that was
I just want to add something, because Jack was in constant communication with me while this was going on, so we both were kind of frazzled a little bit from time to time. But I just want to commend Jack on doing a really good job of staying focused and drilling home the points that need to be made about Michigan City and how the race community has embraced our community, and they really want to come here. And Jack's been drilling that home over and over and over and over, so that all those officials, they really got the message towards the end. I think that had a major impact on the results that we got. So.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And so thanks, Pat. That leads me.
So just one quick question. They're changing classes. Do they have to upgrade the boats or anything?
Oh, no.
Just switch classes?
It actually, it fit. It fit from Class 1 to extreme without any modifications or anything. Yeah, that was an industry thing that we didn't understand. I mean, Rick and Randy were both at the meeting, and that was the one that you had a conflict. Remember?
Yeah.
But Yeah, it couldn't have worked out better. It was just a switch over.
Well, it sounds like more boats, or at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
consistent boats.
I'm gonna go on the record right now that we're gonna have a record number of boats this year. I can tell already. This has got the discussion going way earlier than normal, and I'm gonna announce a couple other things here that are gonna add to that, getting the boats, but, you can mark it down that on, this date, I announced that we're gonna have a record number of boats in this facility. So,
Okay, so
You
just,
got it, Amy? Amy, got it in the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
27.
so it's gonna be televised, approximately how many boats did we have last year?
Okay, so that's a good, so we had 68 race teams last year. Okay, only 62 made it in the water for different reasons. There's sometimes some folks actually bring an extra boat or two just to display. Or they're going somewhere else the next week with them or something, and it's part of their entourage. They don't always put them all in the water, but I think and that's such a moving target. It's hard that nobody ever keeps track of that. I've been driving me crazy. I want to know how many boats hit the water so we can answer that question. So we'll do better with that. But yeah, 62. So that's our benchmark.
Big number, I remember years when it was down in the.
Oh, gosh, yeah, there was 20,
Yeah.
24,
17 or
25.
something, I don't
But
know.
when I talk about some of this stuff I'm coming up, you're gonna see why it's up now. I mean, there's a reason for this. It didn't happen by accident. So, okay, so Rick and Randy were at the meeting that I just referred to, and I'll let them chime in here because I got Randy on to talk next, but I want him to follow my statement up here. One of the race teams that was here representing a Class 1 boat, the boats that were locked out, before we had been able to come up with the idea to shift it over to Extreme and get everybody here, he stood up, gave a testimonial. I mean, my skin, I get goosebumps still right now, and I want Randy to elaborate on it. This guy got up, hit the table to the group, so he got everybody's attention, and he said, Michigan City is the site that we want to be at. The boat parade and block party is the best in the world, better than Key West. I mean, this guy, what a testimonial. So I'll let Randy follow up on that. So that's my report on that meeting. Is there any questions on that? So the rest of my report, what we did at the end of last year was we sent out several notifications asking folks to give us input on things we could do better going into this year. We do that every year, but last year we made a concentrated effort to pay a lot of attention to that input and really bring it back. So we've been able to go through all those comments and suggestions, and we're now in the phase of putting them together. And I'm going to announce some of those for you after Randy talks about the Wi-Fi. So one of the biggest things that we were able to do is the company that we use, OPA, they live stream the race versus television. Like our earlier promoters, you'll remember, we had they did CBS and Fox and a couple different, and it was done differently, of course. But the Wi-Fi situation brought us some challenges. A lot of challenges, not only for streaming of the race, but also for the public being able to do things, us selling stuff, selling t-shirts, using it was a hot mess, to be honest with you. It was a mess. So Randy, being the leader he is, stepped up and brought a group together, and he's going to tell you who's in a group. I know it's the Michigan City IT guy, it's Alco and several others. So Randy, would you give us an update on where we're at with the new Wi-Fi and stuff, please?
Sure. So, we brought together a committee after last year. Everybody knows on Saturday morning, everybody thought that the infrastructure was in place, and we had a little snafu with the internet getting out to the boardwalk. We weren't allowed to use Dunescape. We usually use the 9th floor of Dunescape for the race promoter. So what do you call that? Race control. And they televised from up there. But due to construction at Dunescape, we weren't able to do that. So we erected the scaffolding down there, and we set it up. So Saturday was kind of a scramble. So this year, right after the race, we formed this committee, which Jack said includes Michigan City IT, pretty much everybody, Alco, anybody that has to do with the technology down there, the park department, Comcast. We've got Surf Air is now in Michigan City, and I communicated with Andy Mechanic this morning about the meeting that they're having. Surf Air wants to come in and provide Wi-Fi for the entire event. We've got Comcast on board to make sure Comcast is out at the end of the pier, at the wall there. And then we got the city's IT out there with the fiber. So we're working on a redundant system. And ideally, if everything falls into place, we're gonna have the televised race from up on top of Dunescape as usual. And then it's gonna have a feed down to the wall where Jeff Apple is going to provide it for the tent. And inside the tent, we're gonna have better communications. Jeff is working on a proposal to put in TV screens throughout the tent so that people can turn around and look and probably, he's talking about putting them down the center of the tent, back to back and down through there, so people can at least look up and see what's going on, because sometimes it's not the most ideal spectator sport at some time, especially when they're at the other end of the race and everything else. So we're really trying to work on this, getting it together. The park department, we're gonna also run water out to the middle of the island, out in the middle of the parking lot, so that it's just a much better setup. It's a lot of things that we had in place to happen 4 years ago. That's all I'll say about that. And so we're kind of picking up where we left off on that and getting it moving. So this is, it's some big things, and we're getting some big commitments on people out there. And to echo on the meeting that they had with the promoters and the racers, Billy Mount came to town, and to hear him up there and how much they want to be in Michigan City and how much they like it, I think it'd be inspirational for the city and everybody to actually hear how much they like and love coming to Michigan City. And when they say that it rivals, well, it actually, if you ask me, it's better than Key West.
Yeah.
Because the setup, and this is one of the only places that they have the races, the pits, everything is right there. The parade, you go to Key West, the pits are kind of over there, they're fenced off, you don't get to go there. So we have the perfect setup for the interaction with everybody there. So, and then can I talk about FMEC just for?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So the other thing is I'm the chairman of FMEC, Pat sits on there with us. We're working on a comprehensive plan, so it's a 5, 10, 15, and 20-year plan for the fairgrounds, and we're looking way out in the future on what to do, and we've really got some great ideas. All we need is, about $25 million, and we're ready to go. So,
That's all. Yep.
but it's some incredible ideas. We've got a large number of people at the table, all the players throughout the county, the Michigan City planner, LaPorte City planner, the county planner, the surveyor. We've got a lot of key people in that 4-H and everything giving input. So there's a lot of great things happening in LaPorte County right now.
Yeah.
So
Great update, thank you.
So just quickly on the park, I'm assuming those facilities will end up remaining there?
Yes, that's the key
So
right there,
that
Don.
people have better Wi-Fi on the beach and water in the center of the parking lot?
the issue was last year was like the perfect storm. Verizon had an outage at the exact same time as we had Comcast in place. Turned out there was a little bit of communication issue with Comcast. They did not put in the business class router that we thought they did, so it wasn't big enough to do the uploads that Boomer needed. And then with the Verizon outage, it was really hard.
On Thursday, that was Thursday, that outage hit.
And it was still going into the weekend.
Yes.
And so we're working on a redundant system that's in place, and this would be good for any and all events down there. So this isn't just for the boat race, this is for anything.
So it'll be public access Wi-Fi. You
Correct.
log into this Wi-Fi and Michigan City residents, visitors can get on it, or?
Well, with what Surf Air is looking to do, yes.
Okay.
So the issue is Michigan City doesn't want everybody on their server going through their Wi-Fi because it overloads it and does everything else. So we're working on a backup plan. We have I sent in a text this morning to NIPSCO because there's some telephone poles down there that would be ideal to be able to put a
Repeater or something.
Yeah.
Exactly, a repeater, some kind of device up on there
Right.
to help provide it out there, and so that we don't have to erect poles and everything. So there's a lot of moving parts, and so far everybody's working good.
So it's part of our asset. We should be continuing to invest in that. That's what's really wonderful about it.
That's like the biggest asset Michigan has got besides the people. The county, besides the people. And we just need to keep making it better and beautify it and expanding on it so that we can have all kinds of events down there.
Yeah, thank you so much, good. And the overriding message that I get out of this, and I hope the public gets out of this, is just what Don questioned there. There has been stuff every year that we've been able to do as we put this race on that's enhanced our park, that we've left there. Our electrician that we hired that comes in, every year, we pay him through the boat race money that we allocate out of here to do permanent stuff in that park that stays there every year. And they've got an update that they're gonna do right now to help us in the race this year, which will stay at the park again, as we pointed out. So that's really good stuff. Yeah, thank you. Any questions on that part of it? It was a pretty uplifting report. I'm pretty excited about that. So, I mentioned that we got the feedback from community leaders and folks, so I'm gonna go through some stuff that is either top priority for this year or is new for this year that we've added. We're gonna do a program book. We did one in year 1 and 2. It was pretty awkward because the racing information that we were putting in the book was from the year before. Because, we had to print the book in June, right? Had to print. So not too many people cared about who won Super Cat the year before that in a program book. And we caught that right away, and that was some of that we had to use last year's pictures and stuff. So we can't completely get around that, but I challenged Rick and Katie to work on getting updated stuff for this year. We're holding off on the printing until real late, and we're gonna try to actually visual with pictures and stuff of the entries for this year. We're gonna hold off and try to make it a fresh book that applies to 24 versus 23. And we've hired a guy that actually did the program book for the invitational basketball in LaPorte. Dale's heading that up for us, the contract with him. I see you've got a meeting, you're trying to schedule a meeting with him, right? And try to get Linda and Scott in that meeting too, if you would, please. So, we've got program book coming. I think we've talked about, we're not getting a real large number. We want to make sure we get them. We want to make sure our sponsors get them. We want to make sure the race teams get them. The general public, we're going to sell them for $5, I think, just to make it feel like there's got to be a little bit of an investment when they come and get the book. So, Blue Chip this year doing quite a bit with us. We got Andy's going to give a Blue Chip update, but as far as boat race stuff, we're going to now use in 24. We're going to use Blue Chip's far out lot. They call it home base out there, the one closest to the highway, to pick up our Royal Excursion passengers again. We did that years ago, and the dynamics have changed a little bit. Blue Chip, they've got a little bit more parking now, so they've agreed to let us come back there, which is outstanding. That makes it much less confusing for the public. They get it, go to Blue Chip, plenty of parking, get on a bus, ride in, come back out. It's going to be really simple. That brunch that we talked about, that we did for the race industry leaders, we're going to hold one Friday morning of race week again, bringing in industry leaders, and we're going to host that at Blue Chip again to talk about some of that bigger picture stuff that to try to get out front of that for next year a little bit. Friday night of race week, we're going to hold a reception for the race teams at Blue Chip, and we did that several years ago. And it worked out really great. We switched it, and I'm not even, Rick can tell me why
Well, COVID hit.
yeah, maybe was that the deal?
And
Yeah.
21, things were a little bit different with Blue Chip at the time.
Yeah, so we had to
Decided
move
to
it.
take it to the
Yeah, and I think the cost at the time had me a little nervous too, and so we switched, yeah, you're right.
21.2.
Yeah, that's right. So I talked with Angie about it. I had the cost kind of blending in with the awards banquet, so she's been able to give me a number that we're gonna be able to live with just fine. So we're gonna host that Friday night race team reception. We're still looking for a sponsor too to help offset that. And then, of course, the Sunday awards banquet. So that'll be Blue Chip's involvement of this year's race. You've heard me say it several times, and you're gonna hear it a lot now. We're now referring to this event as Race Week. That's the way we're gonna talk about it, because the whole idea from the beginning, we went from racing only on Sunday, when we first started. Then we expanded it to Saturday. Then we brought in jet skis on Friday, okay? Then we brought in receptions at Creekside and other places on Wednesday and Thursday and the golf outing. So, Fidel's, local Michigan City Fidel's, has stepped up and said they want to host a boat or race team on Tuesday night at their place, similar to what we did at Creekside before. So we're going to meet with them tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow afternoon, but we're going to give them that option. So what we're doing is expanding the week. It's going to be a true week. Tuesday, Fidel starts it out with that. Wednesday, the golf outing. Thursday, the ribbon cutting, right down the line. So we're extending this on. So race week is going to be pretty exciting. As a result of that meeting that Randy and I talked about, X Insurance, who was our title sponsor last year, and they had a 5-year option. They were so impressed with the state of things in Michigan City that as soon as we got off that call, I got a text from the owner of X saying, we're renewing our option year, which they're back. They're back. But here's the real killer. He understood the dilemma we were having with getting boats here. And we kind of saw part of it at the meeting, but some of it came together later. So he sent a note, said, hey, let's get a hold of our operator, OPA. X Insurance is going to step up with money to increase the prize payout to the race teams. So because of the way our rules are set up, I've got the ability to add $5,000 to that out of the budget that you all created, and so I immediately did. So we're going to probably double the prize money to the race teams, and we're going to get that out in a press release, so that's a big deal, getting that out, because to the Geicos and X Insurance and all those, and all the ones that are in the extreme class, that doesn't move the needle any. But to the mom and pop teams that come up here and put their family budget together to travel up here and come to these races, that's a big deal. So, and Rick always takes care of those guys anyway to the best he can. But, so that's really cool. We're really happy. And again, that was a result of that meeting that we had. Because of all the accolades and everything we've been getting on the block party in the race, we decided as a staff that, we got to double down on this thing. We just can't sit here and be stagnant and say, we got the best block party in town, and just keep saying that. It doesn't get any better, by patting yourself on the back, okay? We've got to make it better, okay? So we're really doubled down on that. We've already we've lined up a couple really good local bands that are going to go on flatbeds in the parade to jazz up music, spot them three or four in between boats as they go down, and they'll eventually come back and stay and play. But they're just going to jazz things up with some good music during the parade. And we're working with some other things. I got a committee together to kind of get that parade and block party a lot more, just something new, something fresh. One of the things that X has agreed to do, X Insurance, is bring their helicopter in. If we can pull this off, it's going to be a little bit challenging, but we think we can. And try to put the helicopter down where the boat's going to stage for the block party. Probably Rick Ware and the VS.
7th and Franklin.
Okay, we got to give it to city. I know there's some challenges with that. We get them in early and get them out late, right? We just
It might be better to 6 than 5,
Yeah.
whatever.
But that's always a big draw. Those kind of things for kids and families. They like to get in, and X has done that at other sites, and it's worked really well.
7th has that lot
The big lot.
The lot, yeah, that's
Right.
why, it's a lot.
Yeah.
right there.
So we're thinking that.
I'm just thinking about the blades and the people and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Well, it's not,
They
it's
tied
not a
them
big,
off.
it's not a big,
Yeah.
Yeah, they tied the blades
I
off and then
gotcha.
everything's tied down, yeah. We brought the Tomahawk in 2 years ago and we were able to do the same thing,
that's cool.
yeah. So, let's see, the block party, here's another really big deal. We were able to add 60 feet onto the VIP tent. Okay, so it went from 320 feet to 380 feet, or maybe 90, I think it actually is. But that's a big deal. Because
some people in the community, and Don and I went to lunch, and one of the things we talked about was having a tent there for extended period before the race and after the race for the community use for other activities.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
a really, with Terry or whatever on that, or Park, I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of options down there. People want to be on the beach and they want to sell stuff, and some people want to buy stuff, I mean.
Yeah.
we've already, just so to interject, it's done.
It's done.
It's done for this year.
Okay,
Now, the city can't afford to do it every year. This tent is, I mean, you have to sell your firstborn and your mortgage on your house to pay
More
for the
than that
tent, I'm
even.
telling you. It's very, very expensive. We use a really good company, reliable, but it's very expensive. And so, but what we're gonna be able to do is Rick's figured out a deal. We've let Shannon know already, because of the Aquacross on the 12th and 13th. And because the 4th is right before that, we're going to ask them to do the construction of the tent right before the 4th. So it'll be there for the 4th of July, and then they're going to leave it the whole time. Now, we pay the bill, it's not free,
Yeah.
but we've been doing that for a couple of years, and it's worth it to the community
It's
by
actually-
far. There's
It's actually
no,
going up to 26th of June.
yeah, June, yes, correct. Yeah, that's where, just make sure we don't get any confusion on that. There was an email going around over the weekend, and Gail's confused on that. She thought, so make sure that we don't give Shannon any conflicting dates.
Okay.
To make sure that she knows it's the 26th of June.
Yeah.
Please, yeah. All right, so that's a big deal though, adding those 60 feet onto the tent. And what that's gonna do is accommodate the TV screens that Randy talked about. Because they've been working on this Wi-Fi committee, they got Jeff Apple engaged, and Jeff talked to Rick and I Saturday morning, and decided, so he's putting a contract together. We're gonna approve it, we're gonna put at least 10 screens up. And we're meeting the 5th to kind of look at how that might lay out and stuff, our staff, and start working on that. But those screens are gonna be really important to do. So, and Rick, what we need to add to that too is probably OPA, to have somebody in that tent that can amplify on what's happening on the screen, announce under the tent. You guys think about
So
that?
they're gonna try and simulcast.
Okay, perfect, no, that's even better.
There might be a little delay on the screen and what the people hear, but with them being at the Dunescape, and by the time it gets there, it might be right in front of you.
So it
So
might work out better.
it might work out to our benefit. But there's no way to eliminate the little bit of delay in what they're seeing, but the broadcast and the video will be the same.
Yeah, but they're super bright screens too.
So, yeah, so,
Yeah, and then the last thing I have under additions for this year, or new stuff, is North Shore Health Center. They're getting really involved in our county. They've got an office in Michigan City. They're opening one in LaPorte. Tom called me about getting them more involved in some stuff, so I reached out to some folks there, and they're gonna bring their mobile unit, their bus, to not only the big race, to Grand Prix. We're also gonna plug them in at the Lake Fest in LaPorte also. And Rick, we might wanna put a note down to talk to them when they come in. Are they coming in today or next week? North Shore. They're coming in after a staff meeting next week, next Tuesday. Let's talk to them about the Aquacross too. See if they wanna bring it in for that too. Okay, so anyway, that concludes the new stuff, the stuff we've added for the boat race. I thought it was pretty exciting, wanted to make sure we shared that with you. So moving on, Terry's not here, LaPorte's not here, we got the FEMC. So Angie, would you?
Just hold on one moment on FMEC. Randy, was there anything we wanted to update on as far as the infrastructure stuff that we're doing out there?
So right now, one of the things we're still concentrating on is what FMEC is concentrating on is adding 2 more rows for the campgrounds. So just so you know, just during the fair week, what's there now, and half of it's not even updated, so it's kind of more primitive camping, brings in $45,000 in 1 week. So by us adding 2 more rows of complete new setups for bigger campers and more.
So this is just immediately east of the concrete by the pavilion?
It's west. So it's west. If you're standing on Highway 2 and you look at the fairgrounds, it'd be.
Oh, the fairgrounds.
It'd be on the west.
Fairgrounds, we're back on the race. Okay, gotcha, good, yeah.
So it's out there, it's there, we're trying to do a section at a time, and so that's what we're picking off. So that, and then one of the things that the committee and FMEC has done is the fair board, who had a good fair last year. So you gotta remember the players. You got the fair board that just does the fair. That's all they do. They don't own anything out there. Then you got the county that owns everything, that created FMEC, which is an independent, non-for-profit, to run it, to take the politics out of it the best they can. But that's it. But we gave the fair board permission, and they still gotta go to the commissioners and get approval, because the commissioners ultimately own it. But they're gonna build a new show arena next to the beef barn. If you've seen that red and white new building down there, they're gonna duplicate that next to it. So that's their investment. So the money that they're saving by FMEC coming in and taking over some of the expenses, the county actually insuring the property that the county actually owns, which makes sense, is allowing the fair board to make more improvements. So as we're working on this comprehensive plan, we're still moving forward, and we're making good project. And it fits into the 20-year plan, this building. So we're trying to not do knee-jerk reactions, go, let's put a building there. We're putting some thought into it, because the history is there was a lot of knee-jerk, let's throw this up, and then, well, why, it wasn't the ideal location. So we're trying to put a lot of thought into everything, so. And then we're still working on big events. Alice Chalmers has a big event out there this year, a big tractor show. We're still having tons.
They're gonna bring back their factory and all that stuff, right?
It's an announcement
We cover the sound up.
Right.
Yeah. So, gathering of the orange, I think they call it, so.
We've already started meeting with them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Randy.
All right, I'll finish up, Pat. Let's see, I did have a comment I wanted, okay. So now that you've appointed Angie as the chair of the advisory group, on the next agenda, we'll probably combine, Angie will give a report. I think that's what you and I talked about some time back. And then Pat and I have been talking about this for a couple years, and just to clarify that it was Pat's idea, and I fully agree that they will act in an advisory role only. They'll report to Pat, okay, but the board makes all the decisions. That nothing changes there. And then Pat's idea is to expand that, I think, a little bit too down the road. So we're really happy to get the quality of folks we got on this advisory group. So Angie, I'm going to turn it over to you, Madam Chairman, and you can give us a report.
I'll stand up. So updates with Blue Chip is basically construction, right? So we've been under construction for the last couple of years. So again, we're gonna kind of move on from the COVID and on to 2024. So we've got currently a spa tower, 300 rooms in there, $18.1 million renovation going on. That is expected to be done by July. And yes, it's affecting that gaming tax. It's affecting all the tourism that's coming in because I'm limited as far as what I can sell right now. Blue Chip Tower is open, but of course everyone wants to view the beach. Restaurants, outlets. So if you haven't been, I invited the board. I think most of you were able to come out to Lakeside Kitchen. Please, you have an open invitation anytime to come. So that's going well, right? So that was a long period that we didn't have options buffet. So Lakeside Kitchen is open. We closed Nelson's Deli. That is going under an $8.1 million renovation. It just felt like you were walking in a tunnel all the way to the back and getting a cold sandwich or doing whatever. So that's going to be gone. They're bringing it up to the front lobby. They're going to kind of make like a brick kind of walkways, there's gonna be some good, just add some cafe seating there, and there's gonna be some good people watching. It's, you know, we have William B's bar across the way, so again, it's gonna be open, a little bit more, you know, friendly when you walk into the pavilion and not just hit that casino and just, you know, having just dark areas. So that new restaurant concept is gonna be called Infusion. Infusion is something that is across the board gaming concept, so that's gonna be something that we've used in other properties, and bringing it here to Michigan City is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great concept. So it's gonna be kind of built like a Panera, Starbucks mix, so you have that Starbucks coffee or the different 18,000 blends of coffee that you wanna have to do, but you can get sandwich and something light, so it will complement Lakeside Kitchen for sure. So that's going to be basically the main construction we have going on this year, and then hopefully by July, then we got the boat races, so we'll be all set and ready to open. We are looking at capital for 2025, looking at William B's. We're going to take out that side and expand where the old Las Vegas Baby gift shop was on that corner. We kind of put a little takeout thing called Salted Lime right now. That's going to go away once these restaurants are done. But so next year is going to be exciting because we're looking at William B's to expand that. Looking at revamping the game in FanDuel, just to again blend and kind of similar with Randy, getting the TVs and all the LED, HD, LMLP concepts, getting that digital, getting more of a sports concept. So a lot of things that are moving and shaking. So it's good as far as with Blue Chip. Boyd Gaming is definitely continuing to invest with us, despite what's going on. Again, adding these two casinos. Wind Creek's supposed to open a couple of weeks over right there in that Chicago, Indiana border. We got Hard Rock going on. We got obviously Four Winds and South Bend and up in New Buffalo, but we're doing just fine. So we are just going to continue to invest and continue to make sure our property's there. And again, it's the people. So a lot of what we're talking about, I love that community report. $802 million of tourism. That's fantastic. That's something that, again, I work hard as the director of sales to make sure we kind of bring those conventions and events into the community, and it's a great partnership that I appreciate with this group as far as giving me that subsidy money so I can attract those conventions, because I need the beach, I need the pavilion, I need downtown dining guides. Dale is great as far as giving me updates for both LaPorte and Michigan City. I don't have restaurants to feed them. I gotta shoot them out to different areas, especially when we have conventions that are here 2, 3, 4 days in a row. You know, they want to get out, they want to see. So again, it's the community, it's everything about Michigan City, what brings us to, the attractions, everything as far as what I can do, and I need everything. So I love these investments that we're doing for the beach and the Wi-Fi and getting out there, so.
I heard William B's was going to be open more or not, or more consistently.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just asking a general question.
It's very good. Yes, right now it's at 5 days. Yeah, it was at 4 for quite some time, so it's 5 days now, so.
So
yes.
Wednesday to Sunday kind of thing?
I'm sorry?
Wednesday to Sunday?
Correct, yeah, closed Monday, Tuesday. But yes, because, and that's pretty much my job, right? So once I get that midweek corporate business and even the convention business in, you can show that demand to open it up for sure. So
Nice.
The goal is to definitely go back to 6 days, what it was pre-COVID, same thing with the game, to get those restaurants and continue to have that.
Angie, on the heads and beds side or the hotel side, at one time it was a challenge, with staff to be able to have the rooms available because of staffing.
Yes.
Is that at the level that you guys are expecting, or are you still having a
It
challenge?
was critical. I mean, I was changing beds and housekeeping, serving restaurants, and we had all hands on deck, and certainly with our leadership team. But yes, I think the staffing, we're getting good job fairs and getting, things back in.
Good.
We did do an increase in our salary and wages, similar to what other restaurants are kind of challenged to do. We just signed our union agreement, which again, that was right around the public raise. That was kind of scary with that. So that kind of all subsided. So yes, our staffing, we're not at DEFCON 5 anymore. Maybe we're about 3. I mean, we definitely still have quite a bit of positions still open that we need to fill. And again, certainly with these restaurants being closed, we're not laying off anybody. We're taking that staff out of Nelson's Deli and moving them into Lakeside Kitchen and putting them in the game. No one's losing their jobs. No one's trying to do that. We're shifting it, and we're able to and we still need more. So But yes, we're much better than what we were. But it's just funny, would I have the staff and the restaurants closed? It would have been awesome to kind of, even out all that stuff, but we're still balancing. Our housekeeping too, we're much better.
Good deal, thank you so much, yeah.
Thank you.
Angie, you're gonna have to indulge me for a minute, and she just reminded me of something that I think it's pretty cool to share. We was talking about the supplement money that we provide through our budget to help subsidize these groups that come in that have challenges, or they have limits, or we're bidding against somebody else. So we've got 2 groups coming in now, one of them that falls under that category. But one of them is the DART group in Michigan City. That's more Terry Greetham. But it's a regional event, and we'll have Terry update you on it next meeting. But it's a pretty big deal, and that didn't fall into the category. Here's the one that did. So we got a proposal from a military group to come in and do some training in Michigan City, and their training is going to be at the Coast Guard station. It's inside training. It's not paramilitary training outside. It's inside. Big group. So we knew right away we were going to have to try to kick in our subsidy to make this. Our government immediately decided, because in the name casino was in the name, we couldn't even host it there. Let alone, we were going to subsidize it, okay? But they pulled it out. Can't happen. This is Scott's baby. I wish he was here to tell the story. So then, our folks at the former Best Western in LaPorte, which is now the, thank you very much. They're getting up to speed. We think we can trust them to host a group, right? We're pretty sure we can. Actually, we've sent a couple in there. So we contact them. Well, in their name, they put Pine Lake Inn and Resort. So guess what? The military kicked that one back out. You all know that's not a resort atmosphere there. I mean, my gosh. So, but that's the kind of challenges we deal with all the time. And so we're now using 2 or 3 hotels. We were probably going to have to anyway. Over here in Michigan City, we're redoing the contracts. But I just wanted to share that. What a challenge. And first of all, they only give $107 a night. That's the government rate, supposedly. Yeah, I did not.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've been, which is really low. We're going to have to even subsidize our other hotels because they can't even give that low rate. But I just thought you just see the challenges that Angie and I work with all the time.
We host the Secret Service here, so.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
We didn't tell nobody about that.
You can see the guys with dark sunglasses there around town.
I just wanted to add on to that. I apologize to hold up, but we talk sports, right? So Michigan City, LaPorte County definitely is an all sports venue. So because of that, we are able to host the Indiana High School HSAA, Indiana High School Athletic Association. Is bringing their board here at Blue Chip, and we're going to tour all of the facilities, obviously because Michigan City basketball and the sport tournament we just hosted. So everything to having that community and everything that's going well. When we get the big dogs coming up to our city, that's just good stuff.
And you might want to share with the board what we've got this year, the NCAA, the regional football.
Oh yeah, Notre Dame is named as, so obviously it's known that Blue Chip, we host the visiting teams that play Notre Dame in their schedule. It's not a guarantee, but 99% of the teams do stay at Blue Chip. So we're locked in right now for 2024. And then Notre Dame just announced that they expanded the college football playoffs. So again, I'm pretty good with football, and I kind of follow up. This is getting to another level. I had to bring Jack in and get some other folks. But they expanded the playoffs for college football. And because of that, they have expanded sites to because they got to be neutral sites. Notre Dame is picked as one. So for December 18th to the 22nd, Blue Chip is hosting 4 teams.
Yeah.
So beautiful dates.
Yeah.
Right before Christmas. We have a lot going on. Between Christmas and New Year's, we're sold out. But right before that, so again, we got the teams going in. So fall is looking fantastic. And again, what those teams are, who they are coming in. But it's great to have, again, the partnership we have with Jack and the regional tourism that he's very much part of, to have St. Joe County, and obviously they don't want him in Notre Dame in South Bend. My husband works at the Aloft there in South Bend. He's like, they got $899 rates going on for everyone going there, and a 2 to 3 night minimum. So bring them to Michigan City, we got them.
Yeah, we got them, that's great.
Just I wanted to know.
Yeah, that was good, yeah.
So we're $400 a night or whatever.
That is it.
I'm just giving you that time. I'm just trying to help you make more money.
Yeah, we like it.
Yeah, we are driving the rates with the cell tower, so that increase will come in through 2023 with the hotel tax.
Good stuff. Thank you for the update, everyone that updated us, keeping us abreast of what's going on in our wonderful county. And I just want to thank everybody for all their hard work. Staff, continue to do your outstanding job of promoting the community and doing all the things to attract our visitors in. At this point, I'll ask for any unfinished business. Any new business?
I've got a new business item that we chatted a little bit, Pat.
Yeah.
I really think that, pretty much we're following the plan that seems very closely relative to what was developed last year and approved for the budget for 2024. I think we really ought to have a significant planning retreat as well as a community survey to have input for the retreat and develop our 2 or 3 year plan going into the future for 25, 26, 27, whatever the period is. But for us to have, and I love the advisory committee too, but a broader base of input in terms of where the organization is going and to tell our story better. So I hope that we would consider doing that. I just think it's of value.
Yeah, after our meeting, Don, I immediately brought that to Jack's attention, and it is time. Because I wasn't sure. We do those retreats probably every, what is it, Andy, about 3 to 5 years or something we do them.
It's time.
But it is time. When I talked to Jack, he looked at the last one and we did say.
I know
so
it's some work, but it's just.
No, but you're right.
A way, a guide forward, so.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to be doing that, putting that together. We'll be putting that together. And you're welcome to help organize it.
My initial thoughts when Pat shared that with me, that because of all the new things happening at Blue Chip, it would be a great opportunity for all of us to tour the new stuff, see the new restaurant. We spend a day there, a day and a half there, whatever it takes on a retreat, and get some good updates there because they're such a big player for us.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Well, with all that's going on in the entire county, the Civic and LaPorte, then our other communities with their festivals and everything that's going on here in Michigan City, we need to really have, a day of retreat and not, 2 or 3 hour retreat. Don and I talked about that too, having extended time periods. So some thoughts going to really go into it, and when we come up with the date, it'll give you enough time to clear that date so that you can have that day available for the retreat. It's very important. Some major big things going on in our county right now. We want to be prepared for it and get ourselves in position to continue to grow the tourism effort that we're experiencing right now. It's very important. Any other new business? Any board comments? I would like to just comment on Dale's wonderful display for Black History Month that she got from Mr. Alan Williams, who recently passed. Alan Williams was more affectionately known as Pookie. Those of us who had the opportunity to go through school with him, he was older than me, but you still think, just because they're older than you still think you're going to school with them. They don't look at us that way, but a wonderful man, had a passion for Black history, and she was able to work with his family and get some of his items. She's done a wonderful job, and it's not formally announced. We did get permission from the family. We're looking to maybe do a Black History Museum in Michigan City, which will also attract visitors. And Dale has very kindly agreed to continue to work with us in bringing that to Michigan City. So just wanted to make you all aware of that. Any other comments? With that, our next board meeting is March 26th, 2024. The meeting is adjourned. Have a great month.
Thanks, everybody.